What's up guys, my name is JDCut5 and welcome back to this episode of the Create a Club series. Before we do get into the episode, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you never miss a video. We start off today's episode with looking at the League One top goal scorers, assist and clean sheet leaders. At the moment we're doing pretty well, to be honest. Enquires and Austin Parkin are level on for the goals. Enquires also at the top for the assists at the same time, not doing too bad there. Marcelo Flores in 8th there, as you can see, so not doing too bad. We've got a few players in there nevertheless. That's always a good thing to be able to see. Hugo Arango there at the bottom with 2, and Munir at the top goal and clean sheet leader, sorry. That is absolutely top stuff from the 36-year-old, still proving to be the man between the sticks. But we're bringing ourselves to cup action now in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, looking to be able to see if we can get through the groups after a draw against Wrexham, a 1-1 draw, hoping to see what we can do against Stockport County, get the win and get ourselves through up into the knockouts of the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, where we haven't surpassed the first knockout round yet, so I'm hoping to do that. Big changes in terms of the actual lineup itself. Munir in goal, we've got Reyes and Amati as the centre backs there, Vargas on the left, Bibil on the right, Ali Caniz, Prince and Hovrath in the middle, with Frank Zach, Alonso and Ngoy as your attacking players. And Ngoy is going to switch to the left hand side for this particular game, hoping to convert him to a full-time left winger, but we shall see in time whether that position change will happen any time soon. Stockport are a decent side. They're currently in League 2, not looking too fancy in that sense, but they're doing pretty alright in fairness. I didn't expect too much for them, but they started the game off pretty strongly here as James picks it up on the right hand side. Does really well to be able to see if we can get a ball into there. Woodson picks it up, but a really good block from Amati there as we look to be able to play it out, and a decent effort, it has to be said, as they look to try and see what they can do. And they're putting a lot of pressure on in these first 5 minutes or so. A decent effort. Munir does go for it, but not really to be challenged in any ways whatsoever. But a decent effort nevertheless as we continue on. 14 minutes being played. As you can see, Hovrath picks it up with an opportunity to switch it to the left hand side, but he plays it down the middle to Alonso, picks it up really nicely, finding Isaac Prince, that then switches to the left with Ngoy, cuts in on the right. Many opportunities to see what he can do as he tries to get the shot off, but he is intercepted at that moment in time as we look to be able to chase the play down there. But Stockport County getting on some sort of attack for themselves there as Sever picks it up on the right hand side. Decent opportunity to see what he can do as he goes back to Bailey. Bailey with an opportunity, he finds Wooten. Wooten could do something here. He turns the man and he had the best chance possible, 1-on-1 with the keeper, but he has absolutely fluffed his lines on that point in time, and it is a goal kick as we look to be able to play it out from the back. Bibil plays it to Fransak there, as you can see, as Bibil makes an overlapping run using his pace, and he's so good at doing this, using his pace to be able to get into a good position there. Alonso's in the box for an opportunity to see what he can do. He finds his teammate Alonso, he turns his man, and just like that, it's JD Cook FC 1, Stockport County 0, and that is a very good effort from Reiko Alonso that makes his debut today, and he also gets his goal on his debut. So not a bad showing from Alonso whatsoever, and that is a very good effort from Bibil to be able to run down the right hand side, make a 1-2 with Franzak, and he pulls it to his teammate Alonso. He knows where the goalkeeper's going to be, so he just turns his man for the shot. The goalkeeper underestimates it, and he finds the back of the net then. 26 minutes being played. We're currently 1-0 up, looking pretty comfortable. We're on search for a second here as Franzak picks it up on the right hand side. He looks to skip inside and left and get a ball into the middle, and Alonso wins the header, but it is a poor opportunity, well, a great opportunity, just poorly executed on that moment, and a header just strays wide then. Still continuing on, 31 minutes being played. Stockport looking to get themselves back into the game then as James tries to shrug off the shoulders of Vargas as he plays it to Bailey. Bailey now onto his teammate then as he skips into the box. Many opportunities to be able to see what he can do, and that's a decent effort denied by Munir as Bibil looks to be able to peek up the pieces there as he skips inside. He finds his teammate Alcaniz there in the middle, and now we strive to go on the attack as Alcaniz makes a running but like blazing run on the right hand side, but Franzak just can't fill him in, and he makes some sort of challenge, and the referee does not like what he sees whatsoever. There's a county player on the floor as he looks to issue a card, and that card is red, and that is the end of Franzak's game. We haven't seen much of him whatsoever in fairness, and we're not going to be seeing any of him in the rest of this tie, because in the 35th minute he has been sent off for a challenge, and yeah, it's pretty poor, it's pretty rash, it has to be said. very poorly timed from my sort of perspective whatsoever, and he has been sent off. So we're now down to 10 men with 38 minutes being played. Stockport will fancy their chances in the latter parts of the game as Ngoy picks it out on the left-hand side. Opportunity to stride forward and use his pace there. Not many people surrounding his support there, but Alonso is one of them. He takes the shot. It's a poor effort in fairness, but he does connect with it, but it's nothing to challenge the goalkeeper on that time. But as you can see, near to the end of the first half, Daniel Marcy getting up the field after a decent interception. He goes back to Pubil. Obviously, we've got no one on that right-hand side, so we're going to have to use something. But Alonso makes a really good interception, looks to find his teammate Hovrath. He takes the shot. Shot is saved, falls back out to Alonso, then stood on the ball, then looks to play it out, but he can't do so, unfortunately. And Stockport County just go out of the defensive way, and the half-time whistle has been blown. Into the second half, we're making some substitutions now. Hassan's going to come on for Ngoy just to change things up in the second half, as we do get a corner from a loose ball. Prince whips the ball in there, tries to get something going, and that's really unlucky from Pubil as he can't really get onto the rebound, and it is saved from the keeper as he looks to play it out from the defensive ways as Hughes plays it out to Rydell, then trying to see if they can get forward. Diamond on the ball for County as he strides forward using his pace. As you can see, we're trying to keep up with him and trying to hold them at bay. But they're pretty good on the attack, in fairness. They're doing not too bad. But Almaty with a really good challenge, finding Kaniz there as he looks to find Hovrath. Many opportunities. Hassan on the left-hand side being one of them there as he takes his touch, his first touch in professional football, back to Hovrath. Now to Hassan once again. He skips inside on the right, doing pretty well. He's done more than Ngoy did. He tries to get the shot off. He can't, but he gets onto the rebound there. He knows Alonso is there. He's free in space, and that is perfect from Hassan. No selfishness whatsoever because he put it to his teammate, Ryoko Alonso, and he gets his second goal of his JD Cook FC career, because it's JD Cook FC 2, Stockport County 0, and it looks to be that we should be going through to the knockout rounds of the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, thanks to the efforts of Ryoko Alonso, and that's really good from Hassan. He could have shot in that moment in time, but a square ball to Alonso, simple as that. He gets the finish and he puts another goal with a 10-men side, bearing in mind, so we're not doing too bad whatsoever as we go deeper into the second half. 25 minutes left to play, and we're looking comfortable in all fairness. As much as we're down to 10 men, it hasn't really stumbled us whatsoever, and we're now just trying to see out the game in fairness as Wooten picks it up to Diamond on the left hand side. Back to Wooten it goes then with an opportunity to get the shot off, but he goes to Bailey, tries to turn his man, but he's unsuccessful in his attempt, and now Kaniz now finds Hassan on the left hand side, getting right involved now. Hassan for his first professional debut there as he tries to make a 1-2 of Hovrath, and he tries to fill him in at the same time, but he can't do so as Vargas now finds Hassan on the left hand side, and he skips inside to the right, and he does so well to get into a great position there. Hassan striding forward, there's no one around him, so he takes the shot, and it's a valiant effort, it has to be said, and it goes out for a corner kick then. Substitutions to be made as Welch comes on the pitch for Hovrath then with the last 5 minutes to be played in this tie. Looking comfortable, as I mentioned. We're down to 10 men, but we're looking fairly comfortable. We're just trying to see the game out with the last 5 minutes in this tie. Bailey picks it out in the middle with an opportunity to stride forward and find his teammate Wooten there. He tries to get past the defender, but he goes back to Bailey and he finds the gap, and if he goes on longer, I think he's got a better chance, but he takes the shot, and he is denied by Munir in that moment in time. Corner kick there as Norwood takes the corner. It's whipped in there. Hughes with the header, and Munir with a top save, putting out for another corner kick then. Stockport County knocking on the door in these last few minutes, but I feel like it's going to be too little too late for whatever they get from this particular corner. Ball cleared, as you can see, really good clearance, but it falls back out to a teammate of Stockport County, and now Hughes back in play, and a shot was blocked, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it is, and it is another corner kick then. Chance from the corner once again, and Norwood, the former Aston Villa man, I'm pretty sure, looks to step up from the corner as he looks to whip the ball in there. Decent delivery, and it falls back out to Norwood then after Amati clears it, and what a ball in that is. And Wooten steps up. He might have missed a sitter in the first half, but he's got his goal in the second. He grabs the ball off Munir, knowing there's only a few minutes left in this particular tie to be able to see this fixture out, and that is an absolutely phenomenal board from Norwood. The way he just touched it with one foot and absolutely curls it on the other to find his teammate Wooten, and he rises above Pubil there, and it is a pretty decent effort into the bottom corners. We get things kicked off then. Not long left whatsoever, just trying to see out the fixture and get this game done in fairness and get through to the next round. But Hassan fancies another assist as he finds Ryoko Alonso, and he's got the hard part to do, and he's done it very, very easily, because Ryoko Alonso has made his name heard in English football because he gets the hat-trick on his professional debut, and that is a one to remember for Alonso. That is game set and the match 3-1 at the moment in time, and I'm pretty sure the full-time whistle should be blown straight after the kick. kick-off, and it's very deserved in fairness. We've definitely been the better out of the two. Stockport have had their chances, don't get me wrong, but they just haven't taken them. We've taken our chances when needed, and that's the most important part about this particular fixture. Very good effort from Alonso, just skipping it past the keeper on his left foot, leaving him no chance whatsoever of getting to that one whatsoever, and that is full time here at the JD Cook Arena, and we are through to the next round of the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Alonso picking up his hat-trick ball, a very good effort from himself, and that is one game to remember for himself. He could have had more in fairness, he had a fair few chances, he got himself into a really good position, made the runs when needed, and he seemed to be a decent striker when called upon, so that is one to remember for himself as we go into our second game of this particular episode, once again at the JD Cook Arena as we face Charlton Athletic. The London side have had a good start to the season, keeping themselves in the playoff places so far, looking to see if they can compete against us once again. Looking at the table, yeah, they're fourth at the moment, they're not far off whatsoever, only 8 points off of us, so they're definitely in the running for the playoffs and so on, as we look to see what we can do in this tie. As you can see, the lineup's pretty strong, but we've had to make some changes due to international call-ups there, as Pizzigano goes into goal. Gibbons, Amartya, Araujo, Vargas, Borges, Rodriguez, Arango, Zedanyais, Parkin, and Tyreek George on the left-hand side. Bench looks pretty strong. We've got Ngoy, we've got Hassan, Welch, Alkenaz, so we've got a few players that we could bring on at the same time, but Charlton are going to be a very tough side to play against us, nevertheless, and they look to start off this game nice and strong, but Vargas getting stuck in straight away as he looks to be able to win the duel and find Tyreek George on the left-hand side as he uses his pace to be able to get into a good position. Charlton playing a 5 at the back, so it's backs to the wall for Charlton as the ball is whipped in there. Parkin can't win the header, but it falls back out to Arango as he finds Borges. Borges now to Bobby Gibbons on the right-hand side. He runs into the gap. Lovely ball by Bobby Gibbons, and what an effort that is from Bobby Gibbons. You don't see him that rarely take a shot, even so score, and he has found the back of the net, and it's Bobby Gibbons that makes it JD Cook FC 1, Charlton Athletic 0. What an effort that is from Bobby Gibbons, taking it on himself to just run into the gap, and do you know what, I'm going to take the effort, and he's taken it so well. Unbelievable finish from Bobby Gibbons. How he's done that, I do not know, in fairness, to be able to get across the goalkeeper. That is a striker's finish, but you won't see that often from Bobby Gibbons. But in that moment in time, we will relive that moment for many moments, as 13 minutes have been played, and we're looking pretty comfortable getting that goal nice and early on, but we still can't draw out Charlton whatsoever, as Almeida picks it out on the left-hand side. Amati getting stuck in on the challenge there as he finds his teammate. Rodriguez has been popped up as an injury for the moment, so we're going to have to be wary of that one. I didn't actually see him go down, but a save being made by Pizzigano there, as you can see, as the corner looks to be whipped in there. Almeida striding forward. Vargas looks to be able to see if he can win the ball off of Almeida, and he does win the ball, but he's also got the player, and the referee thinks that's a penalty as he points to the spot, and Charlton Athletic have their vital chance to get back into the tie from a penalty kick. And looking back on the foul, he wins the ball, in fairness. I feel like he's just kind of stuck his leg out a little bit too much to be able to kind of drag the player off. But unfortunately, we have conceded a penalty, and we've given him a vital chance to be able to get the goal from 6 yards. Pizzigano steps up to see what he can do, and he dinks it in the middle. So unfortunately, Charlton have got back in this particular tie. Not exactly ideal whatsoever, but we have got plenty of time to get ourselves back into the tie. Charlton haven't really created any threats as of yet, but it's a simple penalty. He sends the keeper the wrong way. Very cool, calm and collective to be able to dink it down the middle, and we have to accept it for what it is. But unfortunately, it gets a little bit worse from here, because Rodriguez is going to have to come off the pitch. For whatever reason, his injury is just getting worse and worse, and I don't want to make it worse in game. So Welch is going to come on for Rodriguez, and we'll wait to see what sort of injury he has got near to the end of this particular game, as we get things kicked off for another time in this tie, as Tyreek George makes a quick play to Vargas on the left-hand side, making an overlapping run. Parkin is found, and that's a very good effort, it has to be said, but a save made by the keeper, and that was nearly an instant impact after that goal conceded from the penalty, but it wasn't to be on this occasion. 26 minutes being played. Charlton still within a chance to be able to get a goal in this first half, and they're looking a bit stronger, knowing they've got some confidence from that first goal, as Watson picks it out to Doherty there in the middle. Now Watson on the right hand side going and making the 1-2 to Adame, I'm pretty sure that is, as Watson picks it out on the right hand side once again, trying to play like balls in, but it's really hard to be able to get past his defence at the same time. Vargas making himself nice and strong in the tackle, and he wins the play, needs to offload it to a teammate, and he's found Tyreek George on the left hand side open in space, as he looks to be able to make the Charlton defenders' lives a little bit harder, skipping past him and using his pace, and he does really well in fairness as he skips inside on the right. He puts the ball in there. Austin Parkin can't win the header, but Arango does as he finds his teammate there, and he goes back to Bobby Gibbons. He scored one. Can he get onto another? But he goes to Welch. Arango, now Tyreek George. Decent play so far. Really good passing, it has to be said. Ball into the middle there as Arango picks it up. He could shoot, and he definitely does shoot, and that is a very good effort made by the keeper. Zedanias tries to pick up the rebound, but he can't do so, unfortunately, and a goal kick has been offered in the end. And that was a very good effort from Arango, and we're very unlucky in that moment to not take that chance, but we have plenty of time, and the markers look pretty good for it. In fairness, as a goal kick is to be taken, Almeida picks it out on the left-hand side, but a good challenge from Daniel Marty shrugs him off, and he has to go back there, and Borges now putting him under pressure, meaning we do win the throw-in, and Borges now throwing it straight away, and he looks to make the long throw there as we win the header from Zedanias. He knocks it onto Austin Park, and this could be great, and a thunder strike against the goalkeeper there as he denies it. A safe hand, but Tyreek George picks it out on the left-hand side, putting it to the edge of Vargas, and as he looks to get into the box and create something, he finds Arango. He's had one effort denied. Can he have another as Borges picks it up back to the Welch now? Now Vargas on the left-hand side. Good opportunity for Vargas to get the ball in fairness, but he's got no real kind of ball in because there's so many red shirts in the box that could retrieve the ball. As he skips past one, though, he finds Arango, and this time he finds the back of the net. It's JD Cook FC that have taken the lead with a 2-1 at the moment, and Arango fires his side in front, and what an effort that is into the top corner. Wasn't too sure if he was able to convert it because it's a similar angle to where he got denied from the first chance, but this time round he doesn't get denied, and he gets his goal, and it's a valiant effort nevertheless, nestling into the top corner, but he wallops it on his left foot, putting it into the top. That's a very awkward angle to be able to get it from, and we've had two great goals in this tie scored for JD Cook FC as we go into the second half now. Charlton will still fancy their chances in the second half to get themselves back into the game as Small picks it out on the left hand side, going back to Anderson as he skips past the defenders running into the gap as he puts it back to Small with an opportunity to get the ball into the area. He finds Almeida. Almeida looks to skip past the defenders. He goes to Small once again there. Small could go on the outside of the area, and he goes to Doherty. Doherty for Charlton, the number 10 there, looking to see if he can get past the defenders. We have to go back once again there, trying to push them out here, but Doherty's got a perfect chance, and he just can't take it in that moment in time. Pizzagano would have been wondering if he would have had a chance to save that one, because that looked a very good effort, but he hasn't had to get involved in that moment in time. But Charlton have started the second half very, very strong, and they've got another chance here with an opportunity to stride forward. Anderson now on the ball. He finds Almeida. Almeida now, and that is a very good save made by the keeper. Didn't really have to move on that point in time, but he does have to be forced into a save, and it is a corner kick. Then corner whipped in there. It's a far corner, but Jones with the header, and that is a very, very good save made by the keeper there, filling in for Munir on this point in time. A corner was whipped in once again. Jones with the header once again, and he's had another save. He is on form now as Pizzaganaco doesn't make a really, really good save, and that is a very good effort as he launches it out to Parkin as he wins the header to Zedanias on the right hand side. Can we get something going here as Borges looks to switch sides, but that is a poor ball, and Charlton get back in possession as Anderson finds his teammate. This is perfect for them, but he just can't take his chance there. Half an hour left to play, and Charlton's still in this, but we are going to make some substitutions then to freshen a few faces up and get something going in this tie, because we have only got a 1-goal lead, bearing in mind, so we need to kind of change it up if we fancy our chances of doing anything in this tie. Morris is going to come on for Amati just to shore up the defensive issues, because Amati looks fairly tired, and they are kind of getting in pretty easily, and this is another chance here at number 9 for Charlton. Goes back to Watson with an opportunity to go to his teammate once again. Number 9 on the ball for Charlton goes to Doherty now. Doherty with a chance, trying to get them out, trying to push them out as far as possible, and that is a decent challenge made by Morris as he finds the gap to find Vargas, and Vargas now bursting down the left hand side to find his teammate Tyreek George. Not much involvement from George so far as he looks to skip past the defenders, and he does so well to get into the position that he's in. Many in support as he whips the ball in. Zedanias wins the header, but it just strays wide. Then 10 minutes left to play in this tie. Chances coming from either ends, and Charlton still looking to get themselves back into the tie and at least rescue a point as they are trailing 2-1 there. Charlton on the ball with themselves. Small gets the ball denied from Borges. Could be a snatch and grab sort of moment here as Zedanias picks it out on the right hand side. This could be the perfect moment. He skips inside. He finds Ngoy, and he's denied it on the first attempt, but he's not denied on the second attempt. It's a simple ball into an empty net, and JD Cook FC are now 3-1 up in this tie. 83 minutes being played. Surely that's all 3 points in the bag. It looked a little bit tight at the end with obviously only being 2-1 up, but Ngoy has silenced the haters on that one, and he's got his goal. Hasn't been amongst the goals that often as of late, but he's still kind of contributing in the ways that he possibly can in-game, and it's a simple finish into an empty net, but the goal means more than anything. No matter how he scored it, it is a goal nevertheless, as we have a few minutes left of this tie. Just seeing things out now, Charlton still pushing, but in fairness, we know that the result's in the bag. As long as we don't do anything silly in the final few minutes, and everything should be all good for ourselves, as Vargas looks to win the header and clear the play then, but it falls to Araujo, and he finds Vargas on the left-hand side. Tyreek George in support, but he finds Arango in the middle, then Tyreek George running into a gap as Arango can see George making a run, and he finds Tyreek George now as he fancies chance. He's a lovely bit of skill. Tyreek George skips inside on the right. No one can pick him off whatsoever. This is so good from George, and that's exactly what we can do with Tyreek George. It's JD Cook FC 4, Charlton 1, game set and the match, 3 points in the bag, and Tyreek George has made the Charlton defence look completely silly in that moment, and he's definitely on the rise to something special. They say never fall in love with a lone player, but every game he plays, he's just getting better and better and better, and when he puts displays like that on, it is hard not to miss the potential that he can possibly bring to this side. But what a moment it is for George, and what a moment for the club, because a 4-1 victory in the end. The scoreline is slightly flattering in some aspects because it was very much a 2-1 game up to the 86th minute, so in fairness it was more of a tighter game than what the scoreline suggests, but at the end of the day we got the job done, got the 3 points, and that is what means the most. Charlton are a very good side, and I expect them to be in and around the playoffs for most of the season, but we were too much for them today. We got the win in the end, and we got all the goals to be able to kind of put them past us. It was only the penalty that we conceded, and bearing in mind that it was just one of those that just kind of just so sloppy. Confirmation of the player injury. Rodriguez out for 4 weeks, so not too bad. We won't see him for a month, but in fairness, we've got the backup. That's exactly why we've made the signings that we've made, and he should be able to bed himself into the squad very soon. On a more positive note there, Enquires has been noted for 6 assists, 11 matches, and 0.55 assists per match with an average rating of 8.0, contributing 7 goals to the side also. So he's having a phenomenal season so far in League One. It seems to be that he's stepped up with the league more than anything. So hats off to Enquires. He's doing a top job so far. But our last game, we feast Peterborough away from home, currently second in the league. I'm not too sure what to expect, in fairness, because obviously when you're playing a team that's keeping up with yourself, you know you're in for a good game, but it could be completely different on the day. You just never know. But looking forward to this one because it is a stiff competition against a top side. Looking at the stats and so on, one thing to be noted is we are the best defensive side in the league, joint with Lincoln City, so that's interesting to see. We've only conceded 8 goals so far. Looking at the side, Benir comes back into goal as Reyes and Araujo are centre-backs once again. There with Daniel Amati on the sidelines. Bobby Gibbons on the right-hand side with Vargas on the left with Borges, Arango, Hovrav, Sedinhais, Parkin and Tyreek George on the left-hand side, still filling in for the injured Marcelo Flores. Obviously no Rodriguez in this particular game after that injury against Charlton Athletic, but looking for a start in this particular game, what can kind of put us onto a good victory, but it's going to be hard against Peterborough. That is definitely the case, as they get a throw in here as we look to be able to play it out. Bobby Gibbons with a good interception finding Araujo as he goes back to Reyes. Lovely ball to Vargas on the left hand side as he picks it out. Tyreek George is in support at the same time. He kind of goes back to the left back role, so Vargas on his own finding his teammate Hovrav, now to Parkin. Good stuff so far, and Sedinhais is in space, but he looks to go on to Bobby Gibbons. He had a goal previously. Could he be on attacking threat this particular game as Sedinhais picks himself out into the box? He tries to get the ball into the area, but he goes back to Bobby Gibbons. Now Arango, now Borges. Good play so far as he looks to skip past the midfield, but it is a foul being given, and that is a yellow card offered out to Collins, and the first yellow card of this particular game as we continue on with the free kick amounting to absolutely nothing. 16 minutes being played, and Vargas is beaten for pace then, as you can see. It's really good play from Peterborough so far as Reyes looks to be able to cover the line, trying to get the ball off of Randall now as Vargas makes an interception as it falls to Arango. Now to Borges as Hovrav picks it out, and Tyreek George on the left hand side, nice and open in space as he looks to cut in on the right then, and he does exactly what he did against the Charlton game, puts the pressure on the defenders and runs at them, and look at what he's doing now. The dribbling is sublime. It's Tyreek George, not again, surely not, and surely so. It's Peterborough United that are trailing because Tyreek George has got the goal. It's Peterborough United 0, JD Cook FC 1, and Tyreek George has completely replicated what he did against Charlton Athletic with a lovely individual finish, and this boy is special, it has to be said. There's nothing stopping him at the moment, and this is definitely what we want from the boy, and long may it continue. And the first half was pretty tame after that goal, in fairness. Nothing really happened whatsoever, but in the 39th minute, Peterborough looked to try and see if they can create something, but they can't. Bobby Gibbons picks up the player, Araujo. Now Reyes looks to find Vargas on the left-hand side. Straight ball to Tyreek George, then as he looks to be able to bring the play to the defenders, and he skips past one. He does so well to get into the position, finding Thomas Vargas in support. Many in the box, Austin Parkin being one of them. He wins the header. He fumbles it initially, but a decent save in the end by Jed Steer. And into the second half we now go. Peterborough yet to really create any sort of attacking threat as of yet, as Randall picks it up with an option to be able to play an attacker. He goes back to his teammate then for whatever reason, I'm not too sure, but it kind of works out in his favour as Jones is found. He looks to turn his man, but he goes back to his teammate. Really good effort, but not to be the case, as Araujo makes a very good block, finding his teammate Tyreek George on the left-hand side. Austin Parkin is there, but so is Borges in the middle. Hoverath on the left-hand side making in support then as he looks to skip inside. Not many support, but Tyreek George is making an overlapping run on the left-hand side. He looks to skip inside, but it's really hard to pick out a player in this moment in time because there's so many blue shirts in the box defending. Arango is picked out. It's now Borges, and that is a decent effort, just straying wide off the post, but definitely a valiant effort. Nevertheless, with 67 minutes on the clock, defensively we look so solid, in fairness. Vargas making another interception as Araujo plays an absolute stunner of a ball to Zedinias on the right-hand side. He tries to get something going here as Zedinias runs at the defenders. He cuts inside. He whips the ball in there. Parkin can't win the header, but it falls back out to Borges, who wins the header there. Hoverath with the interception as the defenders won it momentarily, as Arango picks out Tyreek George on the left-hand side. So many blue shirts in front of us once again. They pretty much part the bus when we're on the ball, but Vargas picks it up. He pips it into the box, and Parkin is denied from the header there, but Vargas still wins the play, battling from Vargas and Tyreek George. He sticks out a foot, finding Parkin. Now Borges, now Gibbons, back to Borges it goes. Good stuff from JD Cook FC so far, maintaining on the ball and getting decent passing in. Tyreek George tries to whip it on the right. He dicks the ball off there, and it just strays wide. Very good effort from Tyreek George, but it wasn't to be on that occasion, as we are going to make some substitutions now. Parkin coming off the pitch for Alonso, and Prince coming onto the pitch for his teammate Arango. Trying to see this game out now. I'm trying to shore it up because it's a really, really tough game against a tough opposition, but we continue on. Bobby Gibbons with a very good challenge in my opinion, but the referee doesn't see it that way, and it is going to be a free kick offered as Arango comes off the pitch there. As you can see, the substitutions being on and done, so hopefully a few fresh legs will kind of solidify this result with only 10 minutes left to play. Peterborough have a free kick, but they are going to play it short. They're not going to pump it into the box, but they might have a chance when they run down the wing to pump it into the area. Then as you can see, Gibbons trying to defend here. Randall picks it up. It's a really good opportunity from Peterborough, but not to be the case as we force them back. As you can see, it's so hard for them to get in anywhere into the area, but this is a perfect opportunity to get the shot off. He can't. Now Jones, and Munir with a very good save as it falls out to Thomas Vargas on the left-hand side. Good opportunity to stride forward and beat the defenders as he finds Hoverath there. Hoverath doing really well in that middle of the park, in fairness, and he's done a very, very good job. Borges now found. He finds Bobby Gibbons on the right-hand side as Zedinias picks himself out on the right-hand side. Good effort from Zedinias as he skips past the defenders. He does well to try and get the ball into the area, but he is denied. But it will be a corner kick nevertheless. Still something from it as Tyreek George looks to step over the corner and create something in these last 5 minutes or so as George whips in the corner. Reyes is there. He wins the header. Keeper denies him as Peterborough look to clear their lines, and that was a very good opportunity denied by the Peterborough defence and goalkeeper, but it wasn't to be on that occasion. But we do get the win. It's only a 1-0 win. A first goal in the first half from Tyreek George meant we claim all 3 points on the way from home. Games like this, I'm quite happy to win, in fairness, like that, because it's 3 points nevertheless. Peterborough didn't really put that much pressure on us at the same time. I'll quite happily scrape results. There's going to be a few games like that this season. If we can scrape results, we're doing pretty well. I mean, even in the position that we're currently in at the moment, we can't say that we're not doing well because we are absolutely smashing it. Confirmation of Ngoy has definitely gone to our left winger now. That's been a post. Obviously, fans are going to have to get used to the move of the left-hand side, whether it be a short-term change or a permanent change, but for the moment he'll be sticking out to the left hand side to give to support to Tyreek George, and so on. So Hassan will probably go on loan. Simulation game against Reading, a 0-0 ball draw. Unfortunately, I was hoping to get 3 points. They did actually miss a penalty, so in fairness we should probably count ourselves lucky, knowing that we only get away with a point and not losing all 3 at least. So it is something to be able to count upon as we have our last simulation game of this particular episode, and we face Exeter City, where we do get victorious in this particular one. Parkin getting 2 and Tyreek George getting the 1. It seems to be we were too much for Exeter City on the day, and we were able to claim all 3 points away from home. We've been pretty okay on our simulations. There's only been a few we've actually drawn. In fairness, we've actually won most of them. We haven't lost any, so we did really well on the simulations so far, because it's such a 50-50 sort of thing when you gamble on the simulations. But this is the table now, as you can see, and still very tight from the relegation to where it is at the moment. Many teams at that sort of bottom now, Salford and Bradford and MK Dons sort of creeping into that sort of category, coming up from League 2 to League 1. Wrexham getting themselves up into 13th there, as you can see. But looking at the top half of the table from the top 8, we are doing very well. 14 played, 1-11, drawn 2, lost 1. Currently sitting on 35 points compared to Peterborough's 27 and Plymouth Argyle and Sheffield Wednesday's 27. So it's still tight at that sort of area of the table. Still all to play for. As much as we've got a significant gap on many other teams, we only need to lose or draw through, and we're back down into them sort of point ranges. So all to play for, as I mentioned, and it's becoming a very stiff competition against a big side. And we've got Sheffield Wednesday to play next, who are currently sitting 4th, so that'll be a good game. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe for more content, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you never miss a video. Cheers.